anytime I look at a dog who's just sitting around me all day, I get really depressed.
I get really stressed out and anxious by just feeling like I have a lot of stuff.
Just indulging every impulse is not actually being nice to yourself.
That's what people mean when they say like marriage or love or relationships or whatever are a choice every single day.
I think they could even really love you, but not enough.
Hey, welcome back. We're not for everyone. I'm Jess, your lover, and I'm here with my baby girl, Caroline hater extraordinaire. Hi,
Oh,
baby.
hi, baby. We're two little babies.
Two little babies in bed together doing hot takes today. But before we do our hot takes, I need to share with you something that I've started doing recently.
Okay, teach me.
It honestly is, I think this is going to be a big lesson for everyone, but
One of Jess's famous teachings.
they are world known, world renowned. So I have been trying to be a little bit more budget conscious
Oh my
recently,
god.
which
Oh my
is,
god, same. Oh my god, same. Wait,
oh
I
my
also
God,
have an update. I
same.
also have an
Okay.
update on this.
She
Keep
has an
going, keep
update.
going.
Let me say my
Keep
update.
going. Yeah, say yours.
I think it's a reaction to the fact that summer's more expensive. My birthday was in July. My birthday month is always expensive. And I want to buy new furniture. It's just like, whatever. I need to save money. I need to be better. And
Hmm.
so I decided to do this thing where I have a note on my phone that where I put a list of all the stupid shit want to buy based on
Mm.
like Instagram ads or recommendations from friends or whatever. Like the things that I actually, because you get ads all day long, but the things
Yeah.
I actually pause and say, like, oh, I want that. And
Hmm.
I put them in this note and I'm aggregating them throughout the month of August. And then at the end of the month, I will look at the note. And if I still want to buy one thing, then I can buy that thing. But I'm saving money,
Ooh,
bitch.
bitch. Fucking bitch. Oh my god. That is actually crazy how when you don't buy the things you want, you save more money.
It's as simple as that. I just figured it
That's
out.
great.
And then I
No,
made a note. Because
I'm
everything that
laughing.
I'm ever trying to work on in my life
Totally.
is in an iPhone note.
Yeah. I'm laughing because I had to have the same realization literally this month. This is why we're in sync. Our cycles, our
We
spending
always are.
cycles are in sync.
Yeah.
And I have been doing so many rounds of purging my apartment of items, of clutter, of decor, of clothes, and I do it like once a month, and I have at least two trash bags full of donations to take to Goodwill once a month. That
Yep.
is fucking insane. That is
Yep.
insane. That is not okay. And I've been paring down my closet and my clothes for a while. And right now, I've pared down all of my spring summer shirts to a single little tiny drawer. And that is still more than I
Then you
actually
wear.
ever wear. That is
Yeah.
still more than I wear. And I was there. There was some. I think it was like a what was it? Financial Times article or
Wow,
something.
she's reading the
No, 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 no,
Times.
no, 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 no. It was a video. It was their YouTube channel. It was their YouTube channel.
It was the video at the top of the article that summarizes it in a minute for those of us who will not read it.
I will read.
The audio
Yeah,
summary.
it was all just about like the degradation of clothing quality throughout the years, throughout the recent decades, which we're all pretty aware of, but not just like the invention of Shein and Forever 21 and all of that, but even within a single company, like how Abercrombie clothing
Mm,
quality, I love Abercrombie, but like it's pretty trash and it used to be higher quality. Same with J. Crew. And then over the years, like, um, moving their manufacturing to like child labor areas and just downgrading the quality of buckle and the quality of zipper and throwing more polyester and stretchy fabrics into their clothes that lose their shape sooner and get ruined in the wash and they lose their shape and you have to rebuy sooner, like across the board. Almost even designer level brands have for the most part really decreased in quality. I'm talking about
mm,
clothes because clothes is the big culprit for me and I feel like you've talked about the same.
hmm
And I think something that trips me up is I've been trying to buy fewer clothes but higher quality that will last. But you can't even discern that just based on the price tag. Some
True.
really expensive stuff is not good quality. And anyway, in this whole like, I went on this deep dive about like clothing quality and clothing production through the decades. And they had this stat that in 1980, the average American purchased 12 new items of clothes per year. That was the
Wow.
average in America. And today, the average is 68.
Oh my God.
Yes. And
That's
I believe
so
it.
disgusting.
I completely believe it, which is why, like, yes, Shein and Forever 21 and Zara and
Average.
H&M, like average, that's the average. And some people hit so much higher than that. And that's why, like, yes, all of the what's it called? The fast fashion, it's like it's
Mhm.
bad for the environment, it's bad for human rights, it's bad for the economy, like it's bad for so many things. But in addition to that, the people sometimes push like the thrifting route as the better alternative. And it is better, but I'm also really grossed out by just thrifting and buying 40 things, coming home with a garbage bag full of clothes just because you can, just because it's cheap,
Yeah.
because it's just as it's not just as wasteful, but it's still very wasteful. Like I don't need all that clothes. I
Yeah.
will dispose of them just like I'll dispose of the cheaply made shit. I'm cycling through them faster. I'm taking less care of them because I can just buy another $5 shirt at Goodwill. Like even the like thrifting thing, it is better, but there's just a consumption problem. Like I don't need all this shit.
I know, I know. I get really stressed out and anxious by just feeling like I have a lot of stuff around me. And so I'm
Totally.
constantly doing exactly the same thing, throwing things out, purging things. Every season, basically, I go through my
Yeah.
closet and take out a bunch of stuff and donate it because there's just so much that sits there. And not only do I not wear it, but it actually adds to my anxiety of feeling like, oh, I have all this stuff and I don't use it and I'm such a bad person
It
and
makes me feel bad.
it
Yeah.
makes me feel bad. Like I don't know how else to explain it. And so, yeah, I purge regularly, but I still feel like I'm never done with it. I should be even more and more and more and more honest with myself when I'm purging about like, you never wear that, get rid of it. You don't need that, get rid of it. Especially
Yeah.
now, I always freaking shout out my squad at Newly, but especially now that I'm renting a lot of my cute outfits each month, the stuff that I wear beyond the 6 outfits that I rent from Newly is just like sweatpants and jeans, like the staple things. It's the staple things, and then those are my cute outfits for the month. And so I really don't need a lot of the bulk that I've accumulated. And I
Mm-hmm.
definitely think there's something to what you said about like just because you can, consumerism just because you can.
Right.
It made me think of going to Target for one thing and then coming out with like $200 worth of shit, which I know is such a common like trope on the internet and it's
Totally.
something
I'm
I've been
guilty.
guilty
I'm
of
guilty.
forever. And it's
Totally.
fun, don't get me wrong, for some reason it gives you a rush, but at
Oh,
the
I'm
same time,
high. Yeah.
it's the
I'm high and
best,
I'm
but then
horny.
it sits and accumulates dust or like it's a consumable item like a candle. It's like, did I really need this candle when I
Uh,
have 10 other candles that I barely use? Like, it's
yeah.
just buying stuff because it's in front of you because you can. And that's exactly the reason I'm keeping this note. What's funny about the note
Yeah.
of all the stuff that's so far for August, I have like 4 things in it, and 3 of them are baseball caps, which we're both wearing baseball caps right now. 3 of them are baseball caps that say like funny, cute, whatever things on
What
them.
do they say? Tell me what they say. I want one.
Okay, okay. So the
I'm gonna buy
first
one.
one, the one that actually inspired me to do this is a
Okay.
baseball cap that says Habibi on it. Habibi is an Arabic word
Mm-hmm.
that means like my love, and like it's what my parents call me. It's like a
That's
very
a cute
common, it's
hat.
cute and it's like
Should
culturally
get it. Yeah, should
relevant.
get it.
But it's also not culturally relevant because like white people love saying Habibi, so it's not even like mine anymore, but I still want the
Okay.
hat. So whatever.
Yeah.
That's one. The other hat, oh, this is a political hat, but there's a
No.
pretty funny political hat out there right now. And if you know, you know.
Tell me.
And oh, well, it's so for the Harris Walls campaign, the Democratic
Yeah.
campaign in the upcoming American election,
I'm
they made these
familiar.
funny hats that are like they say Harris Walls on them, but then the pattern of the hat is like a army like jungle pattern, and it's kind of like appropriating what the other side would typically be known for and being like, now we
Oh,
Democrats get to have these hats. They're trying to appeal to middle America. And as someone who lives in the Midwest, I do like the hat and I do want it.
excellent. Excellent.
So and then the last thing is there's this local bar that is probably my favorite bar in Chicago. It's called Sportsman's Club, and I already have some swag from them. Like I've been going there forever. Me and Ryan's second date was there, and we often think of our second date as our first date because it was the much better date. So I just love
Mm-hmm.
this bar, and they have this new hat for sale that's just super cute. It's like a retro 80s looking white hat with their like
Love.
Sportsman's Club yoga
Immediately
logo on
love.
it. I
Yeah.
love it. So I want these hats, but they're just in this list right now. And at the end
Yeah.
of the month, I'm going to have to choose one.
I think this is actually a really good system. I think it is a really good system because like you're going to be wanting stuff and also like prioritize and make it intentional and get the one hat that you're going to treat like a queen because you had to choose it above all other others. It's the
I'm
chosen
gonna treat
hat.
that hat like a queen.
Treat it like a queen and take care of it and love it. It'll be so special. And maybe next month you get another hat and it'll be so special. It's kind of like when parents just buy their kids a ton of toys versus letting the kids like earn their
Mm,
allowance to buy their own toy. And it's like that toy means so much more then.
yeah.
And you value it more. I don't know. Listen, I think that's a good system. My system, because I can only literally I set like a new restriction on spending for myself this month. Um, my restriction, because I can only live in extremes, is that I'm just not allowed to buy anything anymore. Unless it's for work. Unless it's for work.
Yeah.
So that's all.
It's just whenever I make those rules for myself, I break it like 2 days later because I'm like, oh, I don't have groceries and I need DoorDash. Like,
Well,
I
I'm allowed to
just,
buy needs. I'm allowed to buy needs.
I guess so, but do I need to spend $40 on DoorDash or can I go to Trader Joe's and get something to eat for $7? So
Yeah.
I just make the wrong choices when I put that type of pressure on myself. So that's why right now this is the first month that I'm
I think
being
that's
conscious of
great.
my spending, and in the first
Yeah.
month I'm starting small and it's just these random truly not needs that I
Mm,
come across on the internet, and
yeah.
I still get to have one of them. Like I need to reward myself. It's almost similar to any time I've tried to be a little bit more conscious of my eating and like eating more whole foods and eating out less and stuff. It's like or drinking.
Yeah.
It's like if I say that I'm not going to do it at all, then I'm a binge it immediately. And I feel like the same goes for
Yeah.
shopping. So that's why I'm trying to be very like measured about it.
I think that's great. I think that's great. For me, the only place I really blow my money is clothes. Like I
Yeah.
don't Yeah, I don't think I go overboard anywhere else. That's why I'm like, you bitch, you literally don't need this. And I literally don't need anything for this season. Like come fall. I think my
She
rule,
gonna spend.
I go spend my rule is I'm like, how close to that 12 items a year can I get? I would love
Yeah.
that. And I think it's doable. And that's why I think if I figured out, I think I need to like research more like what brands really work for me and are really high quality.
Hmm.
Because you really can't discern based on the price tag.
Yeah.
And I could get like 3 new items a season. I
Wow,
mean,
that
that would
sounds
be
like such a nice
amazing.
life. Yeah.
Wouldn't that be amazing? And they're just like so nice quality that they last forever. I do think we've also talked about how it's hard to do that with clothes when you're also trying to like treat yourself nice and
Hmm.
dress yourself up and feel good. And I think, yeah, I think it feels hard to balance the
Both.
two, basically. Yeah.
Yeah, I
But
was
I,
in
I
that
kind of feel like
situation.
the solution is still like find really well made things that you definitely like really well made, really well tailored, because those are the things that are going to last and they're going to look good on you long term.
Yeah, or just like not being as impulsive. Like think
I
about it
know.
for an extra 2 days, and if you're still wanting it, then go buy it. Like little tricks like that. I also yesterday I went to Sephora because I needed to get my eyebrow pencil. I ran out of this product that I use all the time and I just needed to
Mm-hmm.
walk into Sephora, buy the eyebrow pencil, and
That's a
leave.
medical need. That's a medical need.
It's a
You have to
medical
get
need.
that.
That, I mean, the country is hanging on these eyebrows. Like I owe it to my fellow Americans. And so
That's
I
so true.
went into Sephora, went straight to where the eyebrow pencil was, and then I was like, "Oh, I actually am also out of this other thing."
So
And I was like,
dangerous.
"Okay, fine. I'll get that other thing." And then my sister called me, and I was like, "I'm in Sephora right now trying to only buy two things." And she goes, "Oh, you can get yourself an extra fun thing." And I was like, "Caitlin
Bitch,
DeBakey, honestly, whose side
bitch.
are you on? Like, this is unbelievable."
Voice of
And
the devil, devil
it
on your
was
shoulder.
terrible. And I was like, I guess you're right now that you say it. Because my sister is less of a spender than me. She's always been more cost conscious and more frugal and a better saver than me. So for her to tell me that, I was like, dog, you
Uh,
right. So then I'm
God,
looking around the
you're
store
right.
for some bonus little goodie to get myself. And
Oh
honestly,
God.
nothing was speaking to me. I was
Okay.
walking around the store like I've already made some impact on my relationship to buying random shit, where I was
Yeah.
looking around like begging for something that caught my eye that I wanted to waste money on, and I just couldn't find something. And I ended up, all I got
Mm.
was this little like one-time use packet of a hair mask that was in the like travel section before you pay at Sephora. It was like $5.
Oh,
And I
I
was like,
like all the
this will
little
be,
things. I like that's my
I
danger
love the little
zone.
things.
I'm
It
going to
is a
check
danger
out
zone.
the little things.
It is a danger zone, but it was
I'm
just
like,
such
I
a
could use that on the
contrast
go. Yeah,
to
yeah,
what
yeah.
I would have done a month ago. I would have
Yeah,
spent
that's
so
amazing.
much money in that Sephora. I would have found excuses to buy all these extra things. I still bought an extra thing that was going to be fun for me to do for self-care later that night, but I spent $5 on it and like it's really all I wanted. So, yeah, it just made me think of that when you were talking about balancing like treating yourself nice and indulging a little bit and, not being too like restrictive on yourself and also wanting to be a little bit more restrictive, wanting to be a little bit more cost conscious and budget aware and like whatever, environmentally friendly, whatever your goals are. I
Yeah,
think there's a way to still do the
totally.
nice thing for yourself and just do it a little on a little lesser of a scale. Like,
Well, totally, because actually like just indulging every impulse is not actually being nice to yourself. That's like
yeah,
saying, "Well, I eat candy all day because I'm trying to love myself." Well, that's not going to work that well. It's
right.
like you start doing damage, and you and I have both talked about the damage that we felt, feeling overindulgent, feeling wasteful, living in clutter, throwing things out, beating yourself for having wasted money. Like it stops being nice to me when you go so
Hmm.
hard. So wow, we're amazing. Good for us.
Good for us. I have one more small hack that just
Amazing.
reminded me of, and then we can
Love
move
it.
on to our hot takes. So, I am notoriously known for not only my great advice and interesting things that I have to say on the podcast, but
True.
also my obsession with sour candy. If you follow me on Instagram, you will see that most of the content I post on my stories is related to eating sour candy at odd
Okay.
hours of the day.
Okay.
And this has been a thing that I've been struggling with for the past 6 months because I love it. And I've never had a good experience with restricting myself when it comes to food. And so I don't want to just tell myself, you don't get to have sour candy anymore, because I know for me that that
Yeah.
won't work and it'll backfire.
Yeah, no
But I
way.
also need to like, I don't feel good about myself with the amount of it that I've been eating. So I do need to find a way to find a balance. And my friend Corey suggested this. And like once she said it, I was like, this is obvious. Why haven't I tried this yet? But basically, she was like, I just buy like the mega pack of sour candy from Costco, buy so much of it to keep in your cupboard that you literally would not possibly finish it all in one sitting. And your relationship to it will automatically change because it's not feeling like a scarcity thing. It's not feeling like
Mm,
a forbidden fruit, like, oh, there's only a little bit of it and I have to eat it all now or else I won't get to have it. Like it's just there. You just get to have it whenever you want. And that
I
has worked
see.
for me before with my relationship with food in the past. And I just like didn't think of it with sour candy. And lo and behold, they were on sale at my local Mariano's,
Uh-huh.
which is a grocery store in Chicago. And I bought like 4 packs of them. And this was about a week ago that I bought them. I still haven't even finished one pack.
Wow. You said that was so obvious. I don't think that was obvious. I think that's super counterintuitive,
I guess
but
that's true. It was
sounds
only
amazing
obvious because I had done it with other
with the
foods
fries.
before.
And then
Yeah,
you
with
talked
the
about the
fries, and I
fries.
talked about that on the body image episode. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
So
I
it
would
just
never have
didn't,
thought of that.
it really helped. And it's like less alluring to me now. I don't
You
know.
know what I think is so genius about that is because I guess I don't know what sizes the packages normally come in, but usually most candy, like the smaller size, is like allegedly a serving size. And so I could see me being like, well, even if I had enough that I'm already satiated, I would be like, well, I could just finish the package. Like it's a serving size, but you can't
Right.
convince yourself that the Costco package is a serving size. So you have to instead then listen to what is your body actually enjoying eating.
Right.
It's not going to enjoy eating the whole thing, but it's easier to like push past what you're even enjoying when it's like, oh, the package isn't that big. I'll just finish it. Just a few more. Like I do that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I
And
love
also
that.
eating out of the package instead of taking them all out. Like I've been plating my sour candy, which is one, something nice to do for yourself at the
Adorable.
end of a
Number
long
one,
day.
adorable.
And
Plating.
two, it makes it so that like you'll just eat what's on the plate and the package stays in the cabinet. I don't know.
Yeah,
These
packet.
little
I
tricks.
love that.
You have to be
Totally.
nice to yourself and you have to give yourself boundaries that you feel good about too.
Yeah, I think the food and uh
Money,
like no,
spending.
just like the food, like working on your food relationship and indulgence
Mm,
thing. I think there's a really unhelpful I think the main conversation, especially on social media and uneducated people, is like really unhelpful and really damaging and just nonsensical. I talked a little bit about it in the video I made about how I stopped obsessing over food because usually the conversation, and people even left this comment sometimes on the video where I talked about learning to eat in balance and like not indulging every whim. And people would be like, sounds like you're still restricting. Sounds like you're still
mm,
restricting. And I'm like, well, I know just restricting is supposed to be a really bad word when it comes to eating, and I think it implies something very negative and harmful if you're restricting beyond like the nutrition your body needs. But yes, I am restricting. I'm also restricting how often I'm allowed to masturbate in public. I'm also restricting how many people I'm allowed to hit. Like there's no other, like carnal bodily impulse that we think is healthy to indulge every single time we have the impulse. Like
Yeah.
it is healthy to learn to both say, yes, I get to do this sometimes, and sometimes I'm going to learn to healthily overrule the impulse. I
Yes.
just completely disagree that any kind of like it you have to get to a certain point in your eating disorder or disordered eating struggle to reach this point where you get to work on balance. Like I think first when you're working on restrictive eating and recovering from that, you kind of need to just go for it. But there's another step I found where the goal is working on balance, and all humans learn to not indulge every carnal whim they have at every single moment. Otherwise, we'd be fucking in the streets, we'd be fucking at work, we'd be fucking in, wherever we fucking feel like it. Like it
Hmm.
is okay to restrict like all the moments that you indulge. We don't do that any fucking where else.
Yeah.
And I think it's like one of the more advanced steps of healing your relationship to food. But I just really disagree with the idea that ever learning to say no to an impulse is unhealthy. I completely fucking disagree.
Period.
So
Yeah.
period. I don't
You
know.
said it
I
perfectly. I mean, it's
Yeah.
like there is such a thing I think people forget in the conversation about food and eating disorders, that there is also such a thing as binge eating and overeating, and like to the point of discomfort and where you don't feel good about yourself, that is
Totally.
also an eating disorder. And so
Yes. It's one that I've had. It
right,
was one that I was talking about.
you don't correct anorexia or something on that end of the spectrum with binge eating. Like that is on the other side of an extreme spectrum, and people who have struggled with eating disorders have already bounced around on those two sides of the spectrum, those two
Totally.
extremes. Like the goal is finding the happy middle ground where you have balance and you can say no and you can say yes, and like it's all good. Yeah, it's such a limiting view to just think of it as like, oh, well, restricted your eating, then you better say yes to everything in the future. Like that is also an extreme
No,
relationship to
it's
food.
so
We don't want
stupid. It's
either of
so
those
stupid.
ideally. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. You said it
it's never
perfectly.
yes or no to everything all the time. It was so upsetting me. I mean, like the word, I wouldn't use the word restrict. It's just like
Sure.
learning that you don't have to indulge every impulse. But that's why that video I made, it was not about recovering from anorexia. It was about food obsession, which I had both when I was anorexic and when I was binge eating and when I was bulimic. Like
Yeah.
it's actually all the same thing as learning balance. When I was recovering from anorexia and I was hospitalized, they force fed me. They force
Mm,
fed me. I was put on like a 3 or 4,000 calorie a day diet, which is probably at least 2 times like what I need to sustain a healthy body weight. That was
hmm
their approach. And let me tell you, it was really, really ineffective. It was
hmm
really, really damaging to just be like, you're going to do everything now. It took me like it did not help me get over any eating disorder. It sent me into a different eating disorder,
Yeah.
but it took me like decades of basically work on my own. I basically had to do it all on my own to actually learn what like balance and healthy living was. I don't
Yeah.
know. Anyway, we don't
I
have to talk
really
about
hope
that.
that that approach
Sorry.
has, I really hope that that approach has
It wasn't that long ago.
been
Like,
proven wrong by now. Yeah, I know it really
uh,
wasn't, but
it really wasn't,
so
but
fucked up.
it was horrible. It was so stupid.
Okay, I love
Ooh,
you. Let's move
I love you.
on.
Okay, you want to do hot takes?
Let's do hot
30 minutes in.
takes. This episode is sponsored by Cozy Earth. I just got some new sheets from Cozy Earth and I cannot stop. Honestly, I just can't stop laying in bed. It's not even that I can't stop talking about them. I'm just in my bed feeling them at most hours of the day. They are so soft. I washed them as soon as I got them because, like, hygiene, whatever. I care about my skin and washed them and they got softer immediately. I put them on the bed and, like, no complaints. I'm sliding around like a little fish or shrimp, maybe shrimp. The greatest thing about them, though, is that they are so cooling. I am a hot sleeper. I've talked about this on the podcast before. Ryan and I have different sleep temperature preferences, which makes my hot sleep that much worse and that much harder of a thing to deal with. And both of us, ever since I put the Cozy Earth sheets on my bed, have been temperate, regulated, not bickering about the temperature in the middle of the night, not waking up in puddles of sweat. It's just been a game changer in terms of that softness, that temperature regulation, and just like overall the look and feel of them. They make my bed a place that I never want to leave. And that's what I love about Cozy Earth. I've tried a lot of different sheets brands that I've heard about on a lot of different podcasts before. And this one feels a little bit different, feels like the right one for me. I would say if you're looking for new sheets, look no further, try Cozy Earth. They have a 100-night sleep trial, so if you're not completely satisfied and in love with your sheets after 100 nights, you can return them for a full refund. Plus, they're giving Not For Everyone listeners a huge discount. Upgrade your nights and transform your days with Cozy Earth. Get up to 40% off at cozyearth.com/notforeveryone and use the code NOTFOREVERYONE at checkout. That's not FOR everyone. Don't forget to tell them that we sent you in the post-purchase survey to get some free socks with your order.
I have a funny one.
Okay, go.
Okay, guys, we're doing some hot takes now, and people wrote in with really hilarious ones. Like, I laughed out loud at several of the hot takes you guys submitted. If you ever want to participate in determining what we talk about in our hot takes episodes, what to do episodes, all these different things, follow us on Instagram, Not For Everyone Pod. That's where we collect most of our hot take, what to do submissions. It's Not For Everyone Pod with the number 4 in there. You can also see Jess eating candy. All right, I'm just going to start us off hot. Somebody wrote, and I love this. This is a fellow hater. This is a fellow hater if I've ever seen one. Somebody wrote in once a hot take on emotional support animals. Should depressed people be allowed to have them at the expense of the dog?
Stop.
And this made me laugh so hard because in a way, like, yeah, they're right. They're right. Like, you have to hang out with me because I'm depressed. You have to cheer me up. Like, I wouldn't do that to another person.
Oh my fucking God. It's like
Why doesn't
this
that dog
dog
get
did
a happy
not
owner?
choose. This dog did not choose that its fate was going to a sad home. Oh my gosh.
I love
Um,
that so much. You have to
I
be
love it
around me
too.
being sad forever.
I do
That's
have
so
a
funny.
different, I have a contrary hot take though, which is that is hilarious. Don't get me wrong, I love it. But also people who like put dogs above or animals, ugh, this is not going to come out right. Listen, animals are great, don't get me wrong, but humans are also important to me. And I feel like sometimes people really, really, really want to prioritize the animal over the human. And I don't know the right way to say it, and I might ask us to cut this, but I just think it's a thing sometimes. I just think it's
Yeah.
a thing.
Well, so here's my take.
Okay, help me.
I do love animals. Okay, I contain multitudes. This is what I'm going to say. I don't have an opinion on emotional support animals. That hot take just really made me laugh.
Yeah.
I can also kind of see it, but mostly, okay, I love animals. I really love dogs. Um, I'm not the most obsessive animal person, but I basically realized I can't have a dog because I feel sad for them all day long, no matter
Yes.
how good a life they're living. I cannot be around them just because because dogs, like, they don't like go to the gym, like they never take up painting hobbies, like they're never gabbing on the phone. And because I project all of my human needs onto them, I always think they're depressed.
Yeah.
I'm always like, oh my God, you're just like sitting or laying or panting or eating or like walking. Those are like their top five favorite things. Those are their favorite things. But anytime I look at a dog who's just sitting around me all day, I get really depressed because I assume they're depressed, whereas they're actually living their best life. But I can't handle having a dog because I feel bad for them all day, basically, even though it
I
doesn't make any sense.
I could not relate more to this. I was just talking to my friend about this yesterday. I didn't grow up with dogs, and I think that has something to do with my like confused relationship around them. But I love them. I think they're very cute. I like when I get to hang out at my friend's house and they have a dog. And I sometimes dog sit for friends. And I have realized in my dog sitting adventures that I feel so much guilt. It's not so much depression, but I think,
Guilt, yeah,
it relates to what you're saying. I feel so much guilt that like I have to go, I have plans to go to brunch and like the dog's
totally.
just at home.
Yeah,
And
totally.
have felt every time that I've sat like I can't actually leave the house for very long.
Yeah, because
Not
these
because
dogs
the
never
dog
have they don't have their own brunch plans. Literally
right.
ever.
Literally,
Rarely.
they don't get to do stuff. And so, like, it's not only, I know that dog owners have to come back to the house to let the dog out to pee. That's not a concern. My concern is like in the in between times when they actually don't have to go to the bathroom, they're just sitting around and I'm not home. Like, how rude.
Yeah.
They're in my home. I should be entertaining them. I feel a little bit like that. And I also feel like I feel like they're a guest in my home and I need to keep them occupied. And the other thing is that some dogs really
You're
require
a guest in my home.
some dogs really require like physical touch as a love language.
Yeah.
And I love it. Don't get me wrong. Like cuddling with dogs is really fun, but I kind of want to do it on my terms. Like if I have to be working, two hands
I
on
know.
the
I work too
keyboard at
much.
my desk.
That's why
Yeah.
I can't do it.
And then the dog wants is like panting and coming over to me and wanting pets. And I'm like, I literally can't give you my
I
hand
know.
because I have to do my two jobs right now.
Okay,
Like
here's
it's
my hot
just
take.
not go.
Here's my hot take on that topic. I think that too many people are comfortable in abusing and neglecting their dogs and they're in denial
Ooh,
about it.
that's a
I think
fucking hot take.
I actually care about dogs more than the people who live in a
Yes.
fucking city apartment with a German shepherd or
Yes.
a fucking some kind of working dog or an Australian shepherd or something. Like, I think a lot of people who live in cities with a big dog are just very comfortable neglecting their dog's needs, and it's
Wow.
abusive.
It
That's what I
turns
think.
out we love dogs and animals more than anybody else does.
I mean, I'm not leaving a fucking husky. When I see this person walking around my neighborhood with this giant, like, Alaskan husky in a DC apartment, and I know they're working 8, 10 hours a day away from the home, like, you can't tell me you're giving that dog. I just, no,
Yeah,
I'm not comfortable with it.
I am
Some,
a
oh, we gonna,
hundred
we
percent
gonna get
aligned.
the hate comments for this. We gonna get the
This is
hate comments for
this is the
this.
hottest take we've ever given. Usually they're pretty lukewarm, but this is hot, and I stand behind what you said 100%. Come for
Oh,
us. Come for
sorry if
me.
you own one of these dogs.
I
Sorry if
am
you own one of these
a
dogs.
defender of the animals, and you
Yeah.
all are abusing them. Okay,
Oh
next.
my God, Jess, please, please, please tone it down. That being said, I know lots of people who live in a city and have one of those big dogs or energy requiring dogs, or who need like 3 hours of exercise a day, and they make sure to get them that exercise. But
That's
most of
great.
these fuckers ain't. Most of these fuckers ain't. Okay.
And small dogs are different. Like my
Yeah.
sister's dog, Riley, my little brother, he is 12 pounds. He's a mini poodle. And Guy does not want to go outside. Like she sends me selfies on their walks where she has to pick him up and carry him home the rest of the way because he's just like, I do want to lounge at home. And
Yeah.
that is also acceptable. And my sister also is a more of a homebody anyway. You have to make sure that your lifestyle matches to the dog that you have and the place that you live and like the time you can give it. That's the reasonable way to describe what we're saying. And the unreasonable way is you all don't care about your dogs. Okay.
You want the next hot take?
Yeah, I do.
Somebody wrote in hot take. Breaking up to find oneself / work on mental health, such as in a long-term relationship. So when people break up, and the reason they give for breaking up is like, I need to find myself. I need to work on my
Mm,
mental health. I think this applies to like, I need to work on fill in the blank anything. I have a hot
mhm.
take.
Yeah, go for it. I do too, but go.
I think it means the relationship just wasn't important enough to them.
Yeah, I uh two sides of the same coin. I think it's just an excuse.
Yeah,
It's
I think
like,
it's an excuse, and if they cared about the relationship more, it wouldn't have happened,
yeah,
basically.
potentially. Potentially. I
What do you
mean,
mean?
it's
What do you mean potentially?
well, it's kind of that, and it's kind of like maybe they feel held back by the relationship.
Right.
So I
Yeah.
don't think
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
necessarily that they don't care about it, but it
Okay.
can sometimes be that. But I think it can also be that the relationship's not allowing them to like do some of the things that they want to do or live in a certain way that they want to live or
So to
find
me,
things about themselves,
that's what I'm
which
saying, is that
yeah,
like the
we're saying the
relationship
same
is not
thing.
their priority. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mm,
Like I kind of like this relationship. I like things about it, but I would like living in this city more, or I would like doing this thing more. I would like
yeah,
this thing more. I just think it's not important enough. Like, it maybe they do like it. They might even love you, but like
totally.
but something else is more important.
Yes, yes. Like when I say it's an excuse, I think
Yeah,
it's a convenient and more empathetic, understandable way to communicate something that like ultimately behind that is that something wasn't working for them.
totally.
And they may or may not have the words for that, or like they may or may not have like a pinpointed reason why it's not working, but ultimately it's not working and they want out. And it's just a lot more like palatable to say like I need time on my own. I just think it's an
Yeah,
excuse. It doesn't mean they don't need time. It's
totally,
not a
totally.
lie, but it's an excuse.
The thing to me that makes this really clear is that like well, first of all, what I don't think this excuse means, I don't think the excuse means the whole thing was fake, the whole relationship was fake, the love
Right.
or the feelings were fake. I don't think it means, I think they could even really love you, but not enough. Because
Mhm.
to me, when people have to find themselves all the time through long-term relationships, people have to like, I have to focus on my career. I have to work on my career. I need to focus on my spirituality. I have to move across country. I have to apply for this new job. I need to figure out my way through grad school. I have this going on. There's just too much going on. I need to focus on this. People do that nonstop in their relationships. And actually,
Yeah.
those are really hard times to go through. And most people would not choose to add to that hard time that they're now also going through a breakup. Most people don't want that. For most people, that would be like, and now I have to go do this thing and I'm going through a breakup. Like, that's usually more inconvenient. Usually people want their person to stay with them because they're going through those
Yeah.
transitional periods. So to me, if you're breaking up and using that as an excuse, like you said, it's because you know they might like you a lot, they might like you a ton, but something about it isn't that convenient for this other thing that's way more important to them. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally agree. I feel like I had something else to add to that, but I don't. I think that is correct. And I think that happens very frequently. Like I think that is often I know I have some friends who I can think of who like a boyfriend broke up with them because he felt that he needed to like experience this chapter of his life on his own in this other
He's
city,
yeah, he's not
blah
you're
blah
not
blah blah
important enough to
blah.
him. You're not important enough to him.
Right. It's like, and there might still be love there and there might still be good things there, but ultimately he's choosing something else over the
Yeah,
relationship.
exactly.
And people who are in relationships, I totally agree. Like that is actually like the mark of whether a relationship will work long term or not, is like
Mhm.
if a person is choosing to
Yep.
stay even through times that are more difficult, even through times when they need to work on themselves, even through times when they might
Mhm.
maybe they want to have a career pivot and it's like really putting a lot of pressure on them and putting pressure on the relationship, but they're doing their best to stay and make it work because that's how much they care about having both.
Yeah,
Um, that
100%
is
because those
that is the
times
market difference.
yes, the times are guaranteed. I think people get fixated. I have a friend recently who's going through this and they've gotten really fixated on like, oh, it's just because this thing is going on in their life. And I'm like,
Yeah,
it's actually not that remarkable or unique of a thing that's going on in their life.
right.
It's not like their sibling just died or they just lost a limb. It's just like average life stress. And it will happen every year or multiple times a year in the average human life. And like those things you all just listed are guaranteed parts through every life and every relationship. I completely agree with what you said, is that the one that works is not that like those moments never happen or those
Yeah.
like misalignments never happen, is that like you both, I think the thing is that you both will choose the relationship over all of it. This friend who was struggling through one of these most moments recently knows that Justin and I have had a lot of huge disagreements on seemingly important topics, very very big disagreements on like perspectives, how we see things, how we approach the world, how we approach communication, big things. Okay,
Hmm.
big things. And she was like, I know that you guys have like had like all these big talks through all these big things. Like, how did you get through that? And I was like, we had a lot of big talks about a lot of big differences. And I don't think any of us changed our opinion really on anything. I think we
Yeah.
understood each other's perspective a lot, but I don't think we like talked one over the edge to like change their mind on something. I think we just decided that the relationship is more important.
You decide.
We just both decided at the end, like, I think we went into some of these talks being like, okay, maybe we'll budge each other. And then we didn't budge each other. And then we were like, I still want to be with you. That's okay. I guess we don't agree. Like, it's more important to me that we're together.
Yeah.
That was it.
It's definitely a choice and it's definitely a decision. And that's what people mean when they say like marriage or love or relationships or whatever are a choice every single day. Because that is what it comes down to, is like these are two different people coming
Mm-hmm.
together and choosing to be with each other through challenges, through disagreements, through things that they don't see eye to eye on. And that needs to happen. If you want to be with this person for a lifetime, then that is what needs to happen for a lifetime. It's not just going to
Mm-hmm.
like dissipate, or you're not going to find a person where that's not going to be something you have to navigate. Like that is what being in a relationship is. I do feel like when I was dating, like after I had gone through a big breakup where ultimately what happened was my partner decided that he didn't want to keep choosing the relationship alongside choosing things that he wanted for himself. He wanted to do things, without the relationship as part of his next life step. And when I got clarity on this very thing that we are talking about in healing from that and being single, it became like a big priority for me in finding my next partner, that I would find somebody who like saw this the same way as me. Like saw a relationship as a commitment that you choose even when life hurdles and changes and individual priorities and individual preferences and expectations and opinions like come up, like still choosing the relationship. It's a hard thing to kind of gauge about a person. And I think you have to start facing those types of challenges in order to figure out whether it's a person
Totally.
who sees it that way or not. But I really did have that in my mind, and in the way that I spoke about the type of relationship that I'm looking for and tried to like litmus test people for that type of thing, like that was big for me. It comes down to something as simple as like this is an early sign that maybe you could look for that a person is or is not going to see this the same way as you. Early in dating, like app dating, um, it can be very like fickle and flaky. And let's say you plan a date with somebody and last minute something comes up, they have a work dinner or whatever, they can no longer make the date. Okay, they can communicate that to you. That is the first step. Are they going to communicate to you, I have this work dinner. I still really want to go on our date. Can we reschedule for this day? If that's how they handle it, then great. That's a green flag. But if it's somebody who's like, oh, like something came up, I'll get back to you on rescheduling, and then they never do, like wasting your time
Oh,
pining
I would
after
never
that
see them
person
again. I would
is
block them.
not, it's not worth your time because literally, like, that person
They
was
don't want
not
to
going to be
see
the
you.
person that would stick it
No.
out through much, much harder things and still
Yeah.
make you a priority through much, much harder things. So there's these little like micro moments I think that happen all the way from the very first meeting through like
Yeah.
growing and developing a relationship where you can start to notice like, is this a person that still prioritizes me? Is this a person who still wants to like keep this high on their priority list along with all the other things that will keep coming up? And that I think that was just like what I was looking for
Yeah.
ahead of any personality traits or like lifestyle similarities, ahead of anything else. That was what I was
Yeah.
looking for.
I 100% agree. And I think that's a great litmus test because I mean, I would argue that moment when it's like a first date or an early date, it's really not about prioritizing you because they don't fucking know you.
Sure.
But it is about, to me, it's they're letting you know that they understand that dating, connection, relationship requires effort in inconvenient
Yes.
moments. And I'm
Yes.
looking for someone who's willing to put in effort in inconvenient times because they value so much what it leads to or what it could lead to.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Exactly.
yeah, yeah, I completely agree. But oh fuck, I was gonna say something, but I can't remember now. Okay, we did it.
We did it. We can come back
Wait,
to it.
shit. Is there something I
Think
wanted to
about it while
say?
I look at the hot takes. How about that?
I have a hot. Okay, okay, wait, I'm gonna think about
You have
it.
another one? You want to
Well,
go?
no. Wait, can I have like 30 seconds of silence?
Yes, of course.
What were we talking about?
We're talking about
Oh,
effort.
I was gonna say, yeah, when you talked about those moments coming up where someone's like, I really have to work on myself in this moment, blah, 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 or like my family's being hard, it's not a good time. Like, not it's not even that you need to change your mindset about like putting the positive spin on that. It's that this person is telling you the next piece of information about why they are not qualified to be your partner.
Mm,
It's the same to me as finding out that they never want to have kids and that's a requirement to you. Like, it's a moment where they're revealing information about themselves that disqualifies them. It's not like an
yeah,
exception to the relationship. And if only this thing didn't happen, then it would be a different relationship and something else would have happened, then we'd be different people. It's like, no, they're telling you something directly about themselves that directly disqualifies themselves from the running, in my opinion.
agree.
Okay, give me
Agree.
a hot take. I
Okay,
have one if
so
you need one. Here's a hot
yeah,
take.
I think I do. You looked at them and I didn't. Go for it.
Somebody wrote they want a hot take. Hello, I found
Oh.
somebody wants a hot take on the name Lowery. Lowry.
Is it Lowry
Ew.
or Lowry? I think it's, how do you say that
Lowry.
name? Oh,
I think it's
something weird just
Lowry.
happened on my computer. Okay, no, we're
I
good.
think it's Lowry.
Okay. Um, there's a like spice seasoning called Lowry's or Lowry's seasoning.
There's no A in this. It's Lowery. It's a Lao.
Low.
Low. Yeah, like cow. Cowrie. Lowry.
Okay, I think the seasoning is an A. So I really was just thinking about the seasoning.
Right.
Lowry.
I get that. I get that.
You get that?
Yeah,
Yep.
I get that you were thinking about something else. Yeah.
Lowry.
Lowry.
What are like the nicknames? I think a good test for a good name.
Are you considering liking this name?
Yeah, a little. I'm just testing it. I'm putting through the test.
Oh my God,
So,
Hessica.
well, it's gonna end up on the wrong side of the test because I can't figure out good nicknames for it. That's what I'm
So you
saying.
don't, so point one is you don't like the original name itself because you need to find a
Because I need a
nickname in order to
nickname.
tolerate it. Yeah, so
Yeah,
it sounds like
correct.
you don't like it. I guess you could call him Lao,
Like that's not good. That's not gonna be good.
Lala,
You could
Lao
call
Lao.
him Rye because like RY at the end of it, which is what I call Ryan sometimes. And Rye is like a
Yeah,
perfectly normal nickname.
Rye is in Ryan. Only Ree is in Lowry. You could call him
No,
Ree.
correct. But like those letters RY, you could pronounce them Rye.
Yeah, that's
You
true.
could really force it if there's a Lowery or Lowery in your life and you're just trying to make it
There's no
work.
pressure for you to like this name.
You could call them L. Sometimes just calling somebody the first letter of their name is like a good way to do a nickname.
Yeah, just call them the loss. Just call them a loss. You're an L.
Yeah, they're a big L. I want to know about why this person
Cecil?
submitted this hot take. I wish we
Uh,
could know.
maybe
Do they
they
like
love someone named Lowry.
yeah, and they're like, we're about to get engaged, but
Ugh.
I'm just this is my last hang up and I need to know what Jess and Caroline think of the name.
Oh, yeah,
Probably how they feel.
that's bad. That's
Okay, I have a
bad.
question. I have a hot take.
Okay. Is this yours or you or listeners?
This is actually something that came up with my friends the other day, and I wrote it down for this episode.
Okay.
They listen, so they're listeners. Okay.
Okay.
So when does the evening start?
Please.
Specifically, we were debating
5.
5 p.m. or 6
5.
p.m.
5 p.m.
You think it's 5 p.m.?
5 p.m.
Explain.
Um explain.
Mm,
Because I think 6 p.m. is a really normal time to have dinner in America. We're talking about America. I don't know about other places. I mean, I know all I can talk about is my own life. Okay. 6 p.m. 6 p.m. Like I know people are eating at
Excuse
9 in
me, our
Spain. I
Spanish
know
listeners.
I know people are eating at 9 in Spain. I don't have time. I don't have time to talk. I don't have time to represent every single culture in every sentence that I say. Okay.
They're gonna,
Here,
there's gonna be an
actually,
uprising.
there's gonna be an uprising. 6 p.m. is a very normal time to eat dinner in America. I know some fuckers be eating dinner at 5 p.m. here, and that's crazy to me. I eat dinner at like 9 or 8 or 7 with my family, like in 8 or
Those
9
are
or
all
10 if it's
such
alone.
different times to eat dinner.
Well, if I'm eating with other people, it's like 7:30. If I'm eating alone, it's like 9 or 10.
Sure.
But 6 is a very normal time to have dinner, and I know that 1 minute before 6 is not the afternoon. And I know that people also have dinner at 5, and I know that people aren't eating dinner in the afternoon. So there.
Wow. Okay.
Ah,
The dinner argument makes sense to me.
is good. Is good.
I was on the side of 6 p.m. is when evening starts, but only because I am a big like late afternoon, early morning,
Yes,
late
you can
morning.
be.
I
5
like to
is late
segment.
afternoon. Listen, 5,
Right.
I think that they blur. I think late
They blur.
afternoon can also be 5.
Yeah, I think that if 5 is late afternoon, then that means early evening begins at 6. That's where I'm at. Like I
No, no,
still
no, no,
want
no, no,
those
no.
lines.
No, no, they don't exist.
And
No,
let me
you're
say the
wrong.
other reason I feel this way,
No, I
because
don't allow. I don't
a
allow.
traditional 9 to 5 workday,
Right?
if you get out of work at 5, I would like to still feel like I have an hour of my afternoon left.
But you
Some
don't. It's a
people
horrible situation.
make the argument that like because work ends at 5 and then your evening starts. But for me, I would like to say, no, I still get 1 hour of afternoon and then my evening starts. It's just like a pride thing. I just want to take back that 5 to 6 p.m.
Yeah.
hour So yeah, that's why
I mean, I
I'm
feel
more
like
on the 6 p.m. is when evening starts camp.
right. So you're wrong, but I do think that your very argument of like I get out at 5 p.m., then I want the afternoon to start. I agree with the want, but I think it sucks getting out at 5 p.m. because the afternoon is
Because
literally
it's
gone.
over. Okay.
It's gone. Yeah.
We have to create, I feel that I have to create my moments of power and joy.
Totally.
And
It's called delusion. You can
yeah,
tell yourself it's any
it's
time of day that
called
you want,
delusion.
but if you're asking what's actually happening,
Okay. Agree to disagree.
yeah, I
And
think
guess
that
what?
you're
We're
yeah,
still gonna
I
be
think
in a
that you're
relationship.
I know we're still going to be kissing. I think that you're actually equally right, but I like to act like mine is science.
Email over text for casual personal conversation. I mean, immediate
What?
hate.
Wait, I don't want to do either of those. What does this even mean?
Immediate
What?
hate. I don't
I'm not
even know.
having
I didn't even
casual
know
personal
people were still
conversation over
doing
either
that.
of those. What?
So you're saying just talk to me in person, right?
Or don't talk to me at all, but don't
Or
have
never talk to
casual.
me.
Don't. Are you telling me you're texting me casually just to chat? No.
I guess that's true. I kind of hate that too. You're
What?
right. I was just
What?
thinking of
Both
it
of
in the
these are
context
wrong.
of if it had to be email or text, I obviously don't want it to be email. But you're right. I would
It's
prefer it not
weird.
to be text either.
I think email is weird because it's like email works if you need the space to monologue basically and
That's
you don't want
awful.
and you don't want to quick back and forth. Like I've used email basically the time I use email for personal conversation is like when big breakups are happening and it's like I need to write 3 pages to you and then you're
Sure.
going to write 3 pages to me and we both need 2 days to cool down in between.
I
But
guess I
other than
don't think of
that,
that as conversation. That's
it's
just
not.
like
It's just
I'm
a
writing you a
spanking.
letter.
It's just not
Yeah.
writing you a letter. It's just an
Yeah.
emotional spanking.
Yeah. I don't think email is a platform for conversation. I feel
Nor is
pretty strongly
text.
about that because people at work be trying to have back and forth email dialogues. And it's
Idiots,
like,
idiots. We're not
we don't,
friends.
we're not friends. We don't have to personally talk at all. But then if you
Yeah,
really want to, like, don't make me email back and forth with you. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to
hate
I'm going
it.
to go over to Slack and continue the conversation there if we must. Or
Yeah.
we can set up a little 15-minute coffee catch up if we must. But like,
Ew.
do not email me back and forth. That is a waste of
No.
everyone's time. That is a waste of the Google
Ugh.
Cloud or something. We all pay for that shit. I
I
just had to upgrade
appreciate,
my Google Cloud
I
storage.
know. I appreciate that this listener is trying to innovate. So I appreciate the spirit of this, but you're completely wrong on all accounts. Next, give me another one.
Oh my God, this pisses me off.
Yeah, when you get mad. What?
We might have different opinions. I'm not sure. Sleeping on top of
Ooh,
the comforter.
you literally pick all the ones I don't give a fuck about. I
I know
don't
it's always
care. I
happens.
don't know how to care. I don't know how
We
to care. How do
You
you have an
reviewed them
opinion
more
about
closely
this?
beforehand, so I think you found the better, deeper ones, and I'm
Oh,
just
I did.
scanning for things that piss me off. And that
Okay,
pisses me
go
off. And let
on.
me tell you
Okay,
why.
good. Then that's good. Then that's good. Tell me.
Okay, I'm
It
thinking
is
about this
stupid. It is
from a
stupid.
scenario of I sleep in bed with my boyfriend most nights, and I hate when a partner in bed is sleeping on a different layer of the covers than I am. So
Why are
I
you
am
even in my
under
bed? I agree. Why are you even in my bed if I can't touch
literally
you?
get out of my bed.
Get on the floor. There's a floor for a
There's
reason.
a floor. If you must be in a separate plane, then you
Uh-huh.
shouldn't be here at all. Ryan
That I
likes to
agree with.
sleep on top of, he's changed
It
this
shouldn't be
in our
here at
relationship.
all.
He likes to sleep on top of the top sheet. Like, I guess at his home, he would just not even have a top
Why?
sheet.
Why do you have the top sheet? Okay, yeah. I don't really like a top sheet either.
Okay, yeah, I know that that's a hot take thing. I like a top sheet. I like for there to be a little softer layer between me and the comforter. So I will be under the comforter, under the top sheet, over the fitted sheet, which is what bedding is made for. And Ryan, for the first year of our relationship, would be under the comforter. Okay, so at least that's what this hot take was about, that he's still being reasonable there. But then he'd be over the top sheet. And I would have to physically pull the sheet from under him and like maneuver him in a way where he would get under it so that we could be under the same layer. It's just This is people who are on top of the on top of the comforter are inflexible people, and that's my
Well,
stance.
I think if someone sleeps on top of the comforter, like I don't really trust their motives. Like, why did you were in charge of having the comforter, so why did you buy the comforter? You're just trying to show
So
off that you
true.
sleep on top of it. Like, I don't like the game you're playing. I don't really
So
trust
true.
you, and I feel like you're like stunting a lot. Like, who are you trying to impress? Buying something that you don't want to use, and then
That
like
is such
trying
a
to
good
be,
point.
what is
I
wrong
also
with you?
want
I
to
hate
know, like,
you.
what are they sleeping in? Are they naked? Are they
Just
in
cock
boxers?
out.
Are they in
Yeah.
pants
So
pajamas? Because I
the
hate that.
the layer goes cock, comforter. Then their legs. They just slip the comforter
Top
above
sheet.
above the legs, but
Where's the
underneath
top sheet in all of this?
top sheet. Top sheet's just scrunched up between their butt cheeks.
Fuck, I hate it. Okay, give me a better one. I choose the random ass
I actually liked that one. You
submissions.
know
You
what?
had an opinion at the end of the
I
day.
always think I don't have an opinion, but I do.
I know you have an opinion
Um,
on everything. Please.
I really do.
Don't pretend you're not that person. Go ahead. Give me a
Yeah.
better one.
Okay, I can't explain this. I can't explain this, but I have an opinion and I love this write in. Somebody wrote in with a hot take and they said people who say do better after criticizing a company slash brand slash institution. I
Okay.
can't, it's annoying and I can't explain it. It's annoying and I can't explain it and I hate
It
it.
is annoying. And you know what? I'll go so
Right?
far as
It's
to say
annoying.
this week,
Oh, you did it?
I saw a clip of two of my favorite ladies, Oprah Winfrey and Michelle Obama. And Michelle was talking to
Who
Oprah
are
about
they?
how men should do better, which is an accurate statement in
Well,
general.
it's not just using the phrase should do better. Like that's using English words in a sentence. But you know, when like they have a whole criticism and they're like, do better.
No,
You
that's
know how like,
basically what happened in the clip, though. Like
oh,
Oprah was like,
okay,
"Oh,
okay.
what?" I think she was like, "What specifically would you say to men like in America with families, whatever?" And Michelle was like, "Do better." And then she went on to elaborate, and she's a very brilliant woman, and she had great points, but she just summarized it all at the beginning and the end of her statement as "do better." And I was kind of disappointed because I was like, that phrase
Mm,
annoys me so much, but I like what you're
yeah.
saying, and I like you, and you're really smart, and I wish you wouldn't like
Well, it's
dumb down
possible to
your
hold
message with it.
complexity. These things
Right.
don't they don't have to like contradict each other. You're allowed to like people's thoughts and things they've done in the world and the
Yeah.
effect they've had on the world and also find phrases they say annoying. That's
Yeah.
like the complexity that I guess like the most of the world has not been able to wrap their minds around. Yeah.
You're right. You're right.
Michelle
I shouldn't.
Obama's great. She's done
I'm
a lot of
falling
great
into that.
things.
I'm
Yeah,
being very political in this
it's just an
episode.
annoying phrase.
It's like the phrase do life, which I also have talked about how I
Do
hate it so much.
life.
Like, do life
What do you
together.
what's
Fucking
your advice
shut up.
to men of America? Do life.
Do
Do
life.
life together.
I can't wait to do life together as long as you do
Yeah,
better. Like, you're not
I'm
saying
annoyed.
anything.
I'm annoyed by any of the just like trend catchphrases,
Yeah.
especially when it's like I'm not opposed to you like giving constructive criticism, but do better is not actual constructive criticism. I think part of what annoys me is like it's trend terminology, which is always annoying to me. Like, come up with your own thoughts.
Right.
B, it makes me think that you don't as much know what you're saying or what you're fighting for, and that you just know that you're supposed to say this phrase at this time. Even if I agree with your point, ultimately, um, B, I think do better specifically makes me feel like it's really easy to criticize, but it is hard to say what someone should be actually doing differently. Like, what's the active thing? And
Yeah.
so I think there's a lot of like easy criticism, easy criticism, easy criticism. Um, but it's harder to come up with like what would we like to see instead. And some
Yeah,
people
true.
sometimes people do that, but I think a lot of the do better is just like it's like I'm excited because I found someone doing something wrong and I get to say do better. It's like, okay, have you actually added to the conversation? Probably not. You're
How do you
annoying.
feel about there is a phrase that I like in this format, and it is do less or
I
like
like that.
doing the most.
Oh,
Like,
that's annoying.
yeah. So I think I like do less, but I don't think I like doing the most because I don't want somebody to brand me as doing the most. Like I understand that I'm doing the most. I still remain myself. So I just find that phrase like that criticism annoying.
Sometimes the terminology is appropriate.
But do less if I say that about myself, then I like it.
Yeah.
Like, yeah,
I like
I
do
just want to do
less.
less right now. Like I just like that.
I forgot that do less was a trendy term. I was just
Hmm.
thinking of it in the terms of the English language. And it's a mantra I use for myself. I was taking notes today on a video I'll probably do eventually on like anxious attachment and having anxiety in your relationship and like panic attacks and stuff like that and dealing with it. And to me,
Hmm.
one of the mantras that gets me through that is do less. Like, stop trying to fix it, stop trying to control it,
Yeah.
stop trying to say the right thing or do the right thing or be the right way or show up the right way. Or like, it's like, do as little as possible, do less. That's a mantra I do tell myself to remind myself, like, I don't have to control what's happening. I'm actually here to receive. I can just experience what's happening. I don't have to like do or maneuver or strategize. So I like do less for that reason.
Yeah, I think so too. I think it, so basically what your opinion comes down to is like, is it
Does it actually mean
descriptive
something?
enough to be productive? Yeah,
Yeah,
basically.
or is it just like a catchphrase and a zinger?
Right. Which, I mean, I think I like a zinger sometimes, but it has to be the ones that
That's okay.
not ones that are like commonplace on the internet. I like to come up with my own, and then I feel really good about it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Last one. Should we do one more?
Yeah, you give me.
Okay, I'll try my best to find one that you like.
Well, I probably won't like it, but then we'll have a great conversation anyway.
Okay, cool. Oh, we could do one that's a little more on trend. Speaking of hating
Okay.
trends,
Oh, I think I know which one this is.
Brat Girl Summer.
Yeah.
Yeah, Brat Summer. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Is that what I said? Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, so my hot take is that like I just don't know what it is because I'm like not like sufficiently like I don't know, updated about things. Like I know everyone keeps talking about Brat Girl Summer and I know that there's green and like is there more to it? Like I don't even know what it is or why I'm supposed to have an
Wow.
opinion.
Okay, this is actually exciting that I get to tell you because I
What
feel
is
like
it?
I learned about it late and I've
I
still known
literally
about
still
it for
don't
like a
know.
month or two.
I still
So anyway,
don't know. What is it?
do you know who Charlie XCX is? Like a pop
Yes, love.
artist?
Love. Love.
Love. So you know that her new album is called Brat. Do you know that?
I didn't. No, didn't know that.
Her new album that came out a
I
couple
guess I
months
don't love her
ago.
that much. I
Yeah,
don't love her
a
that
fake
much.
fan. She came out with an album called Brat.
Okay.
The album cover is very simple. It's like a pixelated green background, like a lime green background with just like
I gotta
Helvetica
look it up.
font that says Brat, and that's it.
Ugh, I love that.
It's pretty iconic and everyone latched onto it. It's also a very fun album. Like the music is really addictive. It's really like fun party girl music and I don't it's not that I listen to that so much, but when you're in the mood for that sort of thing, it just hits.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so everybody she has a huge fan base and huge following. Gen Z especially, I feel
Oh
like
my God.
loves
Gen
her.
Z and Justin. I feel like Charlie
Does he
XCX is one of
love?
Justin's. I feel like he was like before it was cool. I feel like Justin,
Okay.
I wonder
Big
if he'll
brat
allow me to say this.
energy from
Oh
J
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Unit.
Justin probably got me into Charlie XCX. It's like one of his favorite artists.
That's adorable. That's like Ryan really likes Dua Lipa. And I'm like, is this a sexual thing? But it's not. He just likes her
Probably.
music. He just
Okay.
thinks she's underrated, which she's pretty well rated. So anyway, um,
Right. What?
Charlie
Underrated.
XCX.
She's one of the biggest stars. Okay.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
her new album got kind of like swept under the rug because it came out at the same time as this Charlie XCX album. And the
Yeah.
Charlie one is blowing up and
I'm
nobody cares about Dua anymore.
I'm gonna say I'm much more impressed in every fucking way with Charlie XCX.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I think so too.
Sorry.
But Dua Lipa's hot. So anyway, that's where Brat Summer comes from. So everybody really latched onto
Oh.
this album and to like the cover art and just how much of a simple but big statement it made. And
Love, love.
so much so, should I be political again? Um,
Yes.
Charlie XCX tweeted when Joe Biden dropped out of the race and Kamala Harris stepped in as the Democratic nominee. Charlie XCX tweeted, "Kamala is brat." And I do feel
Oh,
that that is a
that's
big
fun.
part of the momentum behind that campaign is literally
Oh,
like
that's powerful.
this
Yeah.
this huge artist right now in this moment where everyone is obsessed with her album and this phrase that she created and whatever gave this basically endorsement on Twitter. So yeah, Brat Summer, it lives on. I feel I don't have much of a hot take on it. Like I think I'm pretty down with it. It's fun. We only
Does
have
it
so
mean
many.
something? Like, what is a brat summer?
It's an energy, I think. It's
What's the energy?
like party girl, club girl, like confident, fun, silly, kooky, being yourself, like not caring what anyone thinks, like fuck everyone, I'ma do me. Like that's the energy, I think. Brat.
Fuck everyone, I'ma do me. You said in your sweetest little voice.
I think
Fuck
that
everyone, I'ma do me.
I think that I'm embodying Brat this summer. And then the green is a very big
I'm
thing.
brat. Look at me.
Oh my God, she's
Can you
so
see?
Brat right now.
Can you
She's
see what
so
I'm wearing?
Julia. That's one of the
So,
songs. It goes,
oh, I
so
was actually just
Julia.
listening.
Uh,
I was just
uh,
listening
uh,
to
uh.
that in the. I was gonna say in the club. No, in the gym.
It's a good song. So yeah, you can if you would like to incorporate Brat Summer into your
Interesting.
language for the rest of the summer,
No,
you
won't
can
be.
call
Won't be.
things
I
so
support.
Brat.
Okay,
You
I
can also
support.
call things so Julia, which is
I
your
said I
sister's name.
support. I
I'm
said,
just teaching you.
is that I yeah, I know, I know. I asked you to. Is it Julia Fox? Is that the reference?
Oh, I don't know. It could be.
I just assumed it was Julia Fox. Okay. I support the movement, won't be saying it, but I fully support.
Okay, we're behind you. And I'm actually part of you, but Caroline is just wearing the green from a distance.
Oh, I thought you were saying you're behind me.
No, I'm behind the movement. We're talking to the movement. We're
You're not
talking to
behind
the
me?
movement right now.
You're not behind me.
Well, I'm
I
always
have
behind
I
you
have several screenshots of
physically.
you humping my butt
Yeah.
for our brand photo shoot this year that says differently. You're behind
I'm
me, okay?
always behind you in a physical sense, but when it comes to the metaphysical,
You're
I'm
within me.
behind the Brat movement.
You're inside me like a little finger puppet
Stop.
puppeteer.
We have to go. We have to end this. We have to
This
stop.
has been Not For Everyone Brat Summer. I said it.
He said
Oh,
it, and she's
Brat.
Julia.
And I'm Julia Winkler. This has been Julia Winkler and Caitlin DeBakey coming to you live from downtown Dallas. What if everything was just weird and wrong? You know what I mean?
Caitlin has
Okay,
thought about moving there. Okay.
Dallas. Oh,
It's
wow.
really
Okay,
random. I hope she doesn't.
that's really random. Texas is really random.
Not Brat. Not Brat.
Well, actually, real quick, let me name some things that are Brat and you tell me if they're Brat or not.
Okay.
Brick buildings.
What color is the brick?
Red brick buildings.
I don't know if it's Brat.
Pigeons.
Brat.
Fire escapes. I'm naming things I can see out my
Oh,
window.
so Brat. So Brat.
So,
Yeah, because if it's a place or a thing where like Coke could be done, then I think it's Brat.
you could do coke off a pigeon. Pigeons are
Pigeons are
brat.
just
Somehow I knew pigeons were brat. Pigeons are brat.
they're Brat. Yeah, I don't
Okay,
have to explain either of those things. Go on.
those are the only things I can see out my window.
Okay. I think that was a good summary. I think everyone's
Okay,
clear now.
this episode has been edited by Abby Newhouse. You can find her on Instagram at Abby Newhouse. The end. That's it.
Is that
Okay,
it?
we'll see you next week. Love
Talk to
you.
us later, Kate.
Bye.